Hey, what's up, guys? Yeah, so today, let me talk about I want to talk about the summatory function and basically prove some prove the theorem. Okay, so I want to prove this theorem says that if the Riemann hypothesis is correct, then one can define a Mobius function where if x is not square free, you define 0. If x is has even number, so it's if even prime factor, I define 1 and the odd prime factor to be -1. So a theorem says that if the Riemann hypothesis is true, then if you sum over this and up to the like n, then this guy will grow to square root of n. Okay, so I will prove this. And the technique, what we need to do is using my previous theorem about the Dirichlet series and the remaining transformation. Okay, so let me just quickly remind. So in the analytic number theory, that people like to define this kind of function. So given an arithmetic function, then you can define the summatory one, this mfx. And in the previous video, and also one can define a Dirichlet series. Okay, in the previous video, we find a connection about this summatory function and the Dirichlet series. So basically, the idea is that if you do the minus s dx and then do the integration, then you can get f of s. Okay, actually, this is the all the important connection that one can try to prove. Okay. And so this theorem success if this f of s will converge. Right? So if f of s is absolute converge, then you can prove these things. Okay. So today let me just prove talking about two theorem, and once we have these two theorem, then we can prove the previous things. Okay, so this is the arrow turn analysis. Okay, the first one I want to prove is that suppose your m of f of x is bounded. Let's say big O of x theta. Let's say for theta greater or equal to 0, then the f of s is analytic. Analytic for if states sigma greater than theta. Okay, so proof is very simple, right? Just using this theorem because you can try to do this. Okay, so you need to check whether this is a value or not. Right, so you can replace this x theta minus s minus 1 dx. So it's s infinity 1 x minus theta x theta minus s minus 1 dx. Okay, so in order for this guy to be valid, I think you need so you need theta minus s minus 1 less than -1. So the condition that this converges s greater than theta. Okay. And then if you take the real absolute value, then you get this will be a real s. Okay. So real condition is real s greater than theta. So let me just write s equals sigma plus it, which you just prove this. Okay. Sigma. Okay. So this is the first theorem that if you know so this is the idea that if you know the bound on a summatory function, then you can imply the Dirichlet series. Okay. And the second one is that let's say your f of x is ax alpha plus big O of x theta. So alpha should greater than theta. Okay, and greater or equal to 0, then f of s minus as divided by s minus alpha is analytic when sigma greater than theta. Okay, so proof also just simple calculation. Let's say you can write this, and let's say big O of x theta, and do the integration. Okay, so now let's do a real. Let's replace this by minus sigma minus 1. Let's take the absolute value. So this guy is infinity 1 ax alpha minus sigma minus 1 dx plus, right, plus something. Okay, so this term is what I just said, right? Since it's analytic, so this part is okay. And for this part, that you will get this. Okay, there's s here. You get this term. Okay, so you just do the you just do the simple calculation if this guy is ax alpha. Okay, so if your f of x is ax alpha, there's alpha term come here, at least the rest is bounded by x theta, then you will get this. Then you will have a pole that come from alpha, right? So once you minus the difference, then you can the rest is bounded by the rest is can be achieved by gradient this theta. So the first one is that if I can bound this by theta, then I can say this. If I can find the first term that come out with alpha, then I will produce a simple pole. Okay. And a very simple idea, the very simple one is the Riemann zeta function that I think previously video that I already described it. Okay. So now okay. So now let's let me just quickly also say something. Okay, so the example. So this example is the theorem that I want to prove. So idea is that let's just talk about prime number theorem. Okay. Okay, so let's consider this Mobius function, and let's see what will let's consider Mobius function on x. Let's suppose that the Mobius function, right, is just summation of mu of x. That let's say mu of n and that's equal to x. Let's say this guy is let's say big O of x theta. Okay. And so what it tells you, right? What it tells you is that this f of s is analytic. Analytic when sigma greater than theta. Okay. And a very simple calculation show that f of s by Dirichlet calculation, which is this, is obviously 1 over zeta s. Okay. So which tell you that f of s is analytic when sigma greater than theta, which tell you that sigma greater than theta. Okay. So that means if zeta s has no 0 for s, so let's say real s greater than 1. So basically, if you choose theta to be, if you say, oh, theta is 1, right? For example, if I say theta is 1, then this immediately implies that the zeta s has no real 0 for real s greater than 1. Okay. And so this proves the prime number theorem. This actually prime number theorem is related to theta. It's exactly the direct result of theta s has no 0 greater than 1. Okay. Okay, so which we immediately prove the following, right? So we prove that if the okay, so I should say the following. If the m of mu x, let's say, let's write this, right? If m of mu x big O of x theta, and let's say theta greater than half plus epsilon for any epsilon is true. Okay, then you prove the Riemann hypothesis, right? Because you prove that every theta greater than, you prove that there's no, basically you prove that there's no real no zeros when the real power of s greater than half. Okay. And actually the converse is also true. So if the Riemann hypothesis is true, then you can prove this guy, right? So if mu of x is bounded by square root of x plus any epsilon, then you prove the Riemann hypothesis. Okay, so previously I just say yeah, I prove these directions. Okay, maybe in the future that I will prove another directions. The converse is also true, but very non-trivial. Okay. Yeah, this is the so this is a very beautiful idea that one can just, if one want to estimate the analytic function, so now you know everything, because if your Dirichlet series is connected to the zeta function, then you can use the boundary of the zeta function to bound the original summatory function. Okay, and yeah, I think it's good for this video. The next video, I want to talk about the inversion formula, and we can talk about the prime numbers theorem. See you guys next videos.